Good afternoon. Welcome back to Northern Ontario. My name is Dave, and this is Macaro Siding, my in-scale layout. Today we're going to talk about using a laser cutter to scratch buildings. This is a simple structure, but I want to take you through how exactly I use my laser cutter to make these buildings and other buildings on my layout. So it's going to be kind of a tutorial on a piece of software called Lightburn, which is the software that runs my laser. So I'm going to take you through how I decided what I wanted to do with this particular building. And I'm going to show you the different steps on paper that I went through. And then I'm going to switch over and you'll actually see me create one small piece of this building in Lightburn. So let's get started here. So I have a Pinterest account, and they email me every time with images every time they find stuff that they think their AI thinks that I'm interested in it, and they were correct on this. I wanted to build a repair and place building for my my yard, and so I wanted an open structure. So this model, which I could purchase for 39 euros. Which is honkin' expensive. Just give me a sec here. Just give me a sec here. I'm just going to tell you exactly what that is in currency. And I'm sorry, there's sort of dead air right now, but I'm going to. Okay, and we are. There we are. Euros. So 39 euros is $57.45 Canadian. That's an awful lot for a building that I can build for $4 with a laser cutter. Now I understand that, of course, I had to buy a laser cutter to do it, so it cost a little bit more. But the laser cutter gets used over and over and over again in my buildings because it's just buildings are flat panels for the most part. When you want to do curved parts, I usually 3D print those. But otherwise, I'm building flat panel siding and other stuff for my layout. So this particular image caught my eye, and I thought, well, that's what it was. And I think I saw on Ron's Trains and Things, he had a repair and place building that was similar to this structure. And I thought to myself, well, why not do that? So what I did was, the first thing I did, and I'm just going to switch out the paper here. First thing I did was make a quick sketch and decide how wide it had to be. Now, in order for it to go over 2 tracks, it has to be 80 millimeters. Not 80, not 80. Yeah, is it 80 millimeters? Sorry. Yes, it's 80. Just have to check on a ruler here. And in order for diesels and rail cars and rolling stock to go underneath, from the sort of where the ceiling is, or where the girders is, to the ground has to be 40 centimeters. Or 40 millimeters, sorry, millimeters, not centimeters. Centimeters, that would be, we're looking at O scale. So I did this quick drawing. I actually did it twice. I did it once in pencil, and then I thought you wouldn't be able to see the pencil that much, so we did it. I did it over again in ink. And there are a couple tools you'll need to do this. First off, you'll need a ruler in centimeters. You'll need an N-scale ruler, some calipers, and I think that's all you really need for this job. And of course a pencil and stuff like that. But anyway, so now what do we do here? Well, one of the first things I wanted to do was make sure that all my clearances were correct. And on Railway Scenic which is a UK company. They have a free download, and I'm going to sit it here for you. A free download of all the dimensions you need for clearances for rail cars. And these are all in millimeters. So they provide you a chart that goes with the diagram. And the chart has prototype distances, and then N scale, TT, HO, OO, EM, and O scale. So you can take this and you could do what I did. I took all of the N scale sizes and I wrote them beside the corresponding letters. So now I'm either going to laminate this, or I'm going to do something with this to keep it good, because now I have a reference for everything I build on my layout. And that's why I got this chart, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to make a mistake here and build this. Now, and waste material. Now, wasting material, like I say, the whole building, the whole building cost $4. I bought 1/16 sheets of basswood on Amazon, and I then used that as my structure to cut out the building. Now the building is already cut out. I did that already. I'm not going to show you that. I may demonstrate the laser. I do have a time lapse somewhere of the laser cutting things out, but we'll see how long this thing is before we start throwing in a time lapse here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my computer down here, and I'm going to switch over to Lightburn, and I'm going to show you how I do this. Just so you get a quick tutorial and you see how easy it is to do. So here we go. So trying to keep everything plugged in where it needs to be plugged in, and we'll put the laptop down here. Maybe put it up so I can see it. Get my Stream Deck close enough. Now, we're going to switch over here now. If I remember right, I need to go to camera 3, preview 3. And I'm going to fade over there. You can see my switcher there. And now I'm just going to pop Lightburn up on the screen. Okay. So what we have here on the screen now is the Lightburn software. Just going to get that out of the way. And a while back I made a I needed a set of trusses for a building that I was building. I believe it was the large shallow warehouse factory that's sitting on my layout in the yard, and I didn't want to go back and repeat that, so I created this truss. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at my dimensions, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better now. I'm going to pick tool. I'm going to pick it. Okay, so it's 90 wide, which is bigger than I need. So I'm going to change that to 80 and press enter, and that moves it in, makes it a little bit better. And I need it to be 6 millimeters tall. And again, this is from the dimensions in that diagram that I got from Rail Scenics. So that's the start. Now I need 2 legs on this thing to, of course, keep this girder above the track. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to pick the box tool, and I'm going to draw a box. Now I need it to be 2 millimeters. So I'm coming up here and change it to, come on, Well, behave yourself. There, 2 millimeters and 40. Press enter. Okay. So now what I want to do is, and we're doing this real quick, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. So I'm going to go back and take the pick tool, and move this over here, and I'm going to zoom in. And I'm just going to overlap, whoops, let's move it up, there we go. I'm just going to overlap this upright with the girder. And now I'm going to go here, I'm right clicking on here, and I'm duplicating that leg. So I get exactly the same thing. And I'm going to, okay, and I'm going to scratch it over here. And same deal, I'm just going to put it. Now, I'm going to select all of this stuff. And I'm going to click, and that has joined, we'll zoom in here, that has now joined the legs to the girder, so it's one piece. So when it cuts, the laser will not cut the legs off of the girder. The girder and the legs are now one piece. So the next piece to do, of course, is the roof. And I'm just going to grab my little thing here, and I'm going to line it up with the grid so that I've got a line. Okay, let me go here again. Click. I'm going to zoom in. And, oops, there we go. That's what I need. I need to be able to see this one here. And there we go. That's what we want. So that now has centered the first piece of the structure on the grid that's part of Lightburn's desktop. So the next thing again is to click and create and now we go here and we go to 2, press enter, and what we want to do is rotate this and bring it down. And I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to go up to the Arrange menu, and I am going to flip this horizontally. So now I have another roof girder. And I'm going to line this up. Now, same deal again. I'm going to pick everything. And we're going to, and now the roof support is now also part of the truss and the legs. So it's all one piece. And then we just got a couple more pieces to put in, and then we're done. So this one is 2 by 17, so we're going to take it here and just going to zoom in, move it down a bit. Just going to make it a little longer. Back it out again. Select everything. Oops, wrong thing. Oh, Control Z. I think it's the one below here. There we go. So now that's part of the roof truss. And then we'll do it again. 2 by 17. And we're going to make this smaller. So let's go scroll right in here. And come up here and make this shorter so that it's there. Now the important part of this with Lightburn is that these things have to overlap each other. And now that's part of there. And now we're going to do it again. Box tool. The width is 3 and I want it to be 2. Enter. And I'm going to duplicate this one. No, not this one. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate it so I don't have to go ahead and do that again. And here, duplicate. Zoom in again. Move it up and overlap. Move it down and make it overlap it. Zoom out. And that's now part of it. Now I can just take this one, duplicate it, come over here, line that up there. Now again, I got to make sure I overlap it completely. Right? Back out. Now there might be a faster way to do this. I'm not an expert in Lightburn. I'm just and so this will be the last one. Again, shrink it to fit. Zoom in to make sure that you are overlapping. But you notice that it is overlapping and overlapping here. So now I'm going to zoom back out. Let's pull it down a bit. Pick tool is what's picked. Here we go. Ching. And now we have one solid roof truss. So what I would do then, now that it's all together like this, I duplicate it. And now I can make as many of these as I want. I settled on a building that's 150 centimeters long, which is long enough for a diesel or a piece of rolling stock to sit completely underneath it. And in order not to waste lumber, I'm going to group this. I'm going to just put them together as a group. That makes it a little easier to use. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to bring it down here like this. I'm going to grab the corner, turn this upside down, and this will save me lumber. Now when I do stuff like this, I always make more than I need. So I'm actually going to now take this whole group of 4 and duplicate it and bring it down like that. So that gives me more than I need, and all the trusses will be identical. So what do they look like? Well, I'm going to put a piece of paper on my my keyboard here, and I'm going to grab one here. So I'm just going to let Lightburn off the screen here, click on my switcher, and go to camera 6. Camera 6. And so here you are. Here's the truss cut out. And I also, when I was doing this, and we'll go back to Lightburn for a second here. And I'm just going to, I'm trying to figure out where we went. Okay. Oh, I know what I did wrong here. Okay. Click here. Go to 6. Cut to 6. That's that. Cut to 3. That's that. Now, bring Lightburn back up. So what I also did when I was doing this is I also cut out all of the little trusses that go with it. That'll join all of these together. So, for a moment, I'm just going to cancel it. I'll come back and play around with that in a minute. So you can see it's a small truss. It's all cut out. It's very rigid. It is structurally rigid. And so all I really need to do now is to cut some flat sections for the roof and put it together. And that's what we'll do next week. We'll put this together. And I'll show you how I go about doing that next week. But I thought for this week you'd like to see. Now, like I say, because most buildings are a flat wall, one of these little diode lasers will cut very thin material, and it would be good for HO, even O, I think, if you got thicker materials. But I always try and get thin materials because of the scale. That way, like the posts on this are 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters. Here's my calipers. So there, it's actually 1.85 by 1.84. So it's 1.8, basically 1.8 square. And that's if we go to my my N scale ruler, that's about 1 foot, which would be reasonable for a steel beam holding up a roof. You can go finer than that, but the finer you go, the harder, more difficult the problem of cutting things out becomes. So like I say, that's all for today. Again, if you've got the money, you can get one of these little diode lasers for a quite reasonable price these days. And the only thing I would recommend, if you do buy one, is build an enclosure for it, or if the company makes an enclosure for it, buy it. Mine has an enclosure around it, and it also has an exhaust fan with a filter on it, because you are burning things, and you want to make sure that the fumes that you're burning are not dangerous to you. There are some materials that you just can't cut with a laser because of the toxicity of the material. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing costs nothing. It's just a way of getting notified when, if you ring the bell, you get notified when the next video is up and running. So once again, as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and remember, it's your railroad and you can build it any way you want. And